You have rules about your emotions, and these rules, which you probably don't realize you have, like I didn't, they will determine how easily and how often you get to feel that emotion. Let me explain to you what I mean by telling you about my story, about how finding this out, discovering this changed everything for me. So, I'm a tactile person. I'm an affectionate person. I love hugs and kisses. My husband isn't. He wasn't raised with hugs and kisses. It's not something he thinks to do. So we had a misalignment there. I would constantly ask for hugs and kisses. I would complain about not getting enough hugs and kisses. I would tell him he wasn't affectionate, that I felt unloved. I would shame him, tell him off about this. And I would ask for a hug, but when I got it, it felt fake, it felt forced. And I would say, oh, you're only doing it because I told you to. And I would get annoyed and I would get upset. So you can imagine what was going on between us. When I found out about emotional rules, when I discovered this, I found out and I discovered that I had a rule in there about, I knew I was an affectionate person, but I had a rule in there, an emotional rule in there I didn't know I had. And that was that the affection had to be spontaneous, that the hug had to be unasked for. So that's why when I went and asked for a hug and got it, I was annoyed and I was upset. But what I was unintentionally doing there, which I didn't realise I was doing, was that I was communicating to him that hugs made me unhappy. So the way I was going about trying to get more affection was complaining, shaming, making him feel guilty. I feel unloved, there's something wrong with you, you're not affectionate. And every time I asked for a hug and it felt fake and I felt angry, I was communicating to him that hugs made me upset. So you can imagine how confusing this is for us. He'd give me this hug and then I'd be annoyed. And he's like, it would be very confusing. And this is all unconscious, what's happening to us, this dance. So when I uncovered this rule that the hug had to be spontaneous, I realised, I can just change that rule. That rule is a barrier to me feeling love. And I just changed the rule. An asked for hug is just as loving and beautiful as a spontaneous hug. So whenever I wanted affection, I would go, I would ask for a hug, I would get that hug, and I would be happy. And what happened, the most surprising thing that happened when I did this, when I had changed the rule and I chose to feel love from an asked hug, what happened is that my communication started to land. Because before, when I was communicating in shame, blame and guilt, it didn't land. He was in defense. He was not listening. If your communication doesn't land, I urge you to check in with how you're communicating. What emotions are you communicating in? When I started to show him how happy it made me to get a hug, finally my communication landed, it got through. He saw, hugs make her happy. And now I get them all the time. So this is how you shape your partner with love. This is how you get to feel more of what you want. Check in with your emotional rules. Are your rules making it easier or harder for you to feel the emotions that you want to feel? Send me a message. If you want to chat about this, book a discovery meeting with me and I can guide you through how to do this. I hope that was helpful.